quarterback.
Oh, there's a goal!
We have entered the Twilight Zone in a massively important game for both teams. The football gods managed to work up ridiculous voodoo magic. Don't get me wrong, the Falcons did their damnedest to choke this game away repeatedly, but the Saints told them to hold their ornate bourbon street cocktail. That impressive running attack for the Saints, Alvin Kamara suffered a concussion early in the game. In fact, have some more injuries as well. The Falcons escaped this mess of a game with a much-needed victory, but it didn't come without some more help thanks to penalties and Sean Payton. Atlanta sends you a fruit basket for keeping their division hopes alive. Houston, good news. The season that you thought couldn't get any worse has just gotten worse. First, an embarrassing defeat at home to the 49ers, where you couldn't get anything going with the running game and were smacked around by a bottom feeder. But wait, there's more. The football gods have demanded more payment for that World Series title. This time, they have come for Tom Savage and your starting tight end's career.
Oh no, there's a man down.
The unsurprising freefall of the Bungles continues in earnest as they were absolutely obliterated by the Bears. Scratch that, not just obliterated, but completely shit on in every way possible. There is only one thing that can save Cincinnati now. A little thing called SeatGeek. It's an app that sources all available tickets online and displays them in an easy-to-decipher manner. There were tickets being resold at the Bills-Colts game for $4 this week. It's a buyer's market. The Bungles need to pounce on this. SeatGeek utilizes a 1 to 100 rating for all tickets. For example, those aforementioned $4 tickets would be greener than AstroTurf. Bungles, you'll be needing this to get anywhere near playoff action, and if you use the code TREE on the link below, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. It might help guys like Marvin Lewis experience a game past the wildcard round for once. God, this team is trash. When's the Lewis extension incoming? Buffalo winters are cruel and unforgiving, and it showed this past week. The weather must have realized that there was a shitty football game about to take place and brought about an epic snowstorm. The blizzard made this affair infinitely more enjoyable to watch than most games this year. Buffalo may be down Tyrod, and Peterman was injured in the game, but this bad boy is going to overtime because Chuck Pagano is a fucking idiot. In all of the doldrums and chaos, the walking mediocrity escaped most certain doom by pulling victory out of the snowdrifts. Why is Pagano still head coach again? The fallout from the disastrous McAderp tenure has commenced as Eli Manning was given his starting job back after a desperate power play maneuver. It seemed to have worked for about 3 quarters, but the Cowboys brought the Giants back to reality as their defense was absolutely torched by Dak and a team desperate to cling on to their playoff hopes. It's all for the best, New York. This season is lost, and you may as well try to tank and get a higher draft pick. It will take a while for this to be truly cleaned up. The Lions, clinging on to their own postseason hopes, are facing a Tampa Bay squad that can't help underachieving and giving the ball away in a feigned attempt at charity. Regardless of this, the Bucs have mounted a furious comeback and tied the game. Panic has set in for the Motor City. They need this game to keep up, and the fans will be deservedly calling for Jim Caldwell's head if they fail. To the dismay of torches and pitchforks everywhere, the Lions escaped the confines of Tampa with a last-minute field goal. I would say it would delay the inevitable, but Lions fans were molded by disappointment. This is nothing to them. What an incredible surprise. The Browns are a total shit show and heads are rolling in Berea yet again. This time, Sashi Brown is the man to fall to the inept acts of Haslam. They quickly brought in a replacement, too. The guy who was chucked under the bus for the Andy Reid show. Man must have Stockholm Syndrome going from one shit pile to another. For whatever reason, the Browns are actually winning. They have a commanding lead. They're going to do it. They're going to win a game. The Packers are an absolute joke that gets constantly bailed out by Aaron Rodgers, and he ain't gonna save them now. We are going to get a hearty laugh again. Oh wait, that can't happen because that would be intriguing. Let's just have the Browns completely shit themselves yet again and blow a 14-point lead. Green Bay, congratulations. You have saved yourself from total humiliation and maintained playoff pace while needed changes will not be made. As for Cleveland, remember, your dipshit of an owner sided with the inept 1-28 head coach. This shit just writes itself. It's a game with two differing viewpoints. A team that is in freefall, losing 6 of 7 and temp banned Marcus Peters from the home server, and a team looking to return to the hype it had in the preseason. The Chiefs chose to answer, maintaining their offensive form from last week, roaring out to an early lead. But alas, this is Andy Reid. And what does Andy Reid do better than by throttling said offense and anchoring it to a tether in favor of slow, agonizing turtling? The Raiders were able to attempt a comeback in the fourth quarter by putting up 15 unanswered points, but fortunately it wasn't enough. Kansas City, you have somehow stopped the bleeding. For now, take this victory and run. And in what could very well be a potential playoff showdown, the Vikings and Panthers put on a clash for the ages. Both teams succeeded in living up to the hype and put together strong offensive drives and stellar defensive stops. Old man Jonathan Stewart found youth yet again and barreled over Minnesota defenders for a 3-touchdown day. What truly sealed the game was a patented Cam Newton scramble that left everyone chasing after him. The Panthers needed this victory to hold serve with the Falcons and are now tied with the Saints for the division lead. An 8-8 season has been averted. Well done. A surprising Jet squad looking to turn some heads is entering a match with a Broncos squad that has lost 8 straight. In typical Jets fashion, they found a way to butt fumble yet another opportunity. The offense was sucked into a black hole of ineptitude and futility. The defense made a dumpster fire of a Denver offense look passable. The Jets took what should have been an easy win and stabbed their fans in the back with it yet again. As for the surprisingly competent Josh McCown, he's been thrown on the humongous pile of dead with a broken hand. Fireman Ed drowns himself in a pool of Jim Beam in response. I would be pissed at the Chargers for getting good and thrusting themselves into the playoff picture, but they walloped that asshole Snyder's team, so I will give them a pass for chucking the spears of woe into the hearts of Redskins fans everywhere. The Chargers are going to have several key matchups over the next 3 games with the Chiefs and Raiders. The chance for them to take a ridiculously weak AFC West will come down to this. Maybe that soccer stadium will have a playoff game full of opposing teams' fans after all. Let's try a different approach to this. Puta madre, Spanos! What have I been telling you? The Titans are nothing special and their offense is hideously non-existent. Blaine Gabbert was throwing ducks all game long and the defense had 8 sacks. But this is where Marcus Mariota comes into play. The man has regressed dramatically. What was supposed to be a season where he emerged as one of the league's elite has backfired quickly. He's slowly becoming an interception magnet, with one being on a crucial drive to try to seal victory. It's the last thing Tennessee needed, but it's happening anyway. Yikes. Before we get into this match, let's take a look at how I felt about these two QBs back in the spring. As iffy as his future may seem, he can at least throw a football at the NFL level, unlike a certain other highly rated quarterback from his draft class. That quote has aged immaculately, hasn't it? The two of them continue to make me eat a gigantic bag of shit as this game was a patented offensive spectacle, both teams trading punches and blows like the heavyweight bout it was hyped to be. At the end of the day, the Eagles were the one that declared themselves victorious. They now claim the NFC East crown and have locked in a date for postseason football again. However, this was a Pyrrhic victory as it comes at a staggering cost of Carson Wentz. It's official, there is no God. His Messiah has fallen. We are all fucked. Once again, real football commences with two teams trying to stake a claim to their division leads. The Seahawks did everything in their power to claw away at a victory, but the Jaguars laid waste to their battered defensive core and overpowered Seattle despite a comeback attempt thanks to Russell Wilson. They fortunately lose no ground in the division thanks to the Rams' loss, but it severely hurts their wildcard chances. Seattle, what you really need to do is try and fight some more people. That will get you back in the hunt. Stop me if you've heard this story before. The Steelers playing down and underachieving against weaker competition only to pull the magic horseshoe out of their ass and be bailed out by high-end talent. This is literally the 4th week in a row this has happened. This is a game where Baltimore badly misses Jimmy Smith. The Ravens were completely torched in the passing game by Pittsburgh's tight ends and Antonio Brown, whom they had no answers for. Baltimore did look good offensively, and they have a really easy schedule to close out the season, though. Playoffs may still be in sight. The Steelers claim this victory in honor of Ryan Shazier, whom unfortunately seems to have suffered all but the worst-case scenario. At this rate, I don't even care if he comes back to the NFL. I just want him to be able to live a full and healthy life without limitations, and you should too. This sort of thing always transcends the world of sport, regardless of team and affiliation, and it sucks to see such a great player be struck down in his prime. Take care, Ryan. So, what the hell was that? Did I step into an alternate timeline where Tom Brady aged by 500 years and the offense can't convert a third down? It's strange to see the Patriots just look completely off and turn into absolute shit on both sides of the ball. Miami played like the defending Super Bowl champs today. Jay Cutler, of all people, was an absolute baller. Kenyon Drake has quietly turned into one of the most electrifying runners in football. The defense, what needs to be said, they shut down the best offense in the league with sustained pressure. Look out for these guys. They may have had a train wreck of a year, but they seem to be getting hot at the right time along with a few other squads. 9-7 could get you a playoff spot in the AFC this year. Now watch them lose their next 3 because I said that. New England, get your fucking shit together. The last thing you need is the world laughing at you again. Fuckers. After this round of football, I think we need to officially dub our LOL Cow of the Week. Quentin Jefferson of the Seattle Seahawks. He was one of several players who chose to take matters into their own hands on the final drive as the Jags were trying to knee the ball and end the game. Following Michael Bennett's lead, our friend Quentin gets into the act by attacking more Jacksonville players and being ejected from the game. But the fun doesn't end there. After someone threw an overpriced beer at him, Quentin chooses to try and maintain his rep by confronting one of the 13 Jags fans in the stands and trying to throw a few punches of his own. Mr. Jefferson, we look forward to seeing you spin the NFL's wheel of discipline for this fracas in the near future.
Going on the field is unsportsmanlike conduct against the New Orleans bench. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty, but by yardage gain, it's a first down.
And here it is. Watch him come out. He's trying to get the timeout. And I don't know if he couldn't get the attention early on or what it was, and then he ran out towards the official.